Hey beauties, do you want to learn how to achieve gorgeous brows and eyeshadow in few simple steps? You are definitely in the right place. If you're watching me for the first time, my name is Lizzie. I'm going to walk you through a beginner-friendly makeup tutorial that will boost your confidence. So the first thing I did was to draw a thin line under the brow with my brow gel. It's actually an eyeliner, but it's from Cosmetics. It comes in a black and a brown shade, but I usually prefer the brown shade depending on the color of the individual, which is the skin tone of the individual. So I used a flat brush to draw a thin line under the brow, and I used the same flat brush to draw another thin line at the top of the brow to connect it with the thin line underneath the brow, and then I filled up the area where she does not really have enough hairs. But before all of these, I had to prep the brows by making sure that I applied a glue. I actually do use this eyelash glue, so you can use an edge control or a good eyelash glue that does not leave any form of residue on the brow. So I used an eyelash glue to prep the brow, and then I applied setting powder on the brow, left it for about 3 minutes before I went ahead to draw the brow. So for concealing, I went in with a light shade of concealer that is about 2 tones lighter than that of her skin tone, and this is from Cosmetics. And then towards the inner corner of the brow, I used a darker shade of foundation just so that the blending would be easier for me. And then I used a flat blending brush to conceal the top of the brow and to make sure that it actually looks equal. So I do remember when I started makeup, although emphasis were laid on brows being the same and all of that, but as a beginner it wasn't easy at all. And even at this point, except for the fact that I get to practice most of the time on my clients, on my models, it's actually not easy making sure that your brow look the same. So it's one thing to draw one brow, and it's another thing to draw the other brow to look like it. So back to what I was saying, when I started as a beginner, it wasn't easy. I remember that I would draw one brow and the arc would be low, and the other brow, the arc would be higher. And then at the end of the day, when you cover half of the person's face, the person actually has a different shape of face on the left hand side, and then when you cover the right hand side, the shape of the person's face will actually look different from what is on the left hand side. So don't be like me, take your time, draw your brow, conceal them perfectly, let them look the same. They may not actually look like twins, but let them look like sisters. So I went ahead to conceal the top of her lids like this, which is the crease area and the transition area. I conceal those areas like this just to make sure that the skin is properly covered and layered. And the next thing I did was to repeat the same process on the other part of her eyes. So I went ahead to apply my shadows, and then I picked up a fluffy brush, and this is from Cosmetics. I picked it up and then I started shading the outer corner of her brow like this. I used a brown eyeshadow for the outer corner of her brow just to give me that very subtle and nice look. And then the next thing I did was to repeat the same thing on the other eye. So whatever you do on one side, make sure that you repeat on the other side as well. So I had to apply the brown shade of eyeshadow again. And then just so that I could have more depth, I went in with a darker shade of eyeshadow, which is a black shade of eyeshadow, just so that it can give me more depth and just so that the eyes can be more defined. So I went in with a darker shade of eyeshadow, and it was actually a black shade for the outer corner of the crease area like this. As you can see, it's actually giving me more definition than how it was before. particular look was requested by my client stroke sister, so I had to do what she wanted. Now, I still discovered that the brows were a bit not exactly alike. So I went. This is the good thing with being a makeup artist. I mean, while you are at the session, you still have the liberty of correcting and controlling your mistakes. So this is me just trying to correct the brow to make sure that they are as good as what they should be. So always make sure that you go in with a fluffy brush and blend all of that properly, because you don't want your brows to crease and you don't want the skin to crease as well. So this is just me just correcting the brow so that they can actually look like sisters. Guys, at this point I went in with my benign eye primer, and this eye primer is really amazing. I've been using it for years and it works perfectly for me. It's so beautiful. So I applied this eye primer on her crease area like this, covering the skin properly, and then I repeated the same thing on her crease area on her other eye, and then just tapped and blended everything properly so that it looks good. So once I was done, I started applying the brown shade of eyeshadow again on her transition area, just so that it can look more defined and so that it can look nice. And then I applied that brown shade on the crease area towards the transition area like this with a fluffy brush. You can see how I am rotating the brush. It actually looks different and it looks better when you rotate the brush, especially with a fluffy brush. Do not go in with a flat brush on the transition area at all. You don't want to create harsh lines and you don't want any creasing of any sort. So at this point I went in with a pink shade of pigment, and this is from Eyebrow Cosmetics, and I just sprayed my brush with a setting spray, and then I applied the pigment on the brush and then applied it directly on her eyes, as you can see me do in the video. So I'm only applying on the primed area. Do not apply above the primed area, which is the transition area, because she's definitely going to look like a masquerade and you really do not want that. So just apply the pigment on the transition area. So this is just me tapping the pigment. And once I was done, I went ahead to line her waterline area using my black Eyebrow Cosmetics eyeliner, just to give the eyes more definition and to make the eyes look brighter than what they will normally look on a normal day. And then I went in with my Eyebrow Cosmetics mascara, and this is actually a game changer to remove the excess pigment that must have fallen on her eyes or the excess eyeshadow, and this is what it looks like. And then I went in with falsies, which is my eyelashes, just so that the eyes can look more beautiful. And this was actually what it looked like, and I loved every bit of this tutorial, guys. So if you want a full tutorial on how I was able to do the face, to do the full makeup, I'm going to link it. It's actually in my previous video, and I'm going to link it to this particular one to show you guys how I was able to achieve this full glam. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I do hope that it has been helpful. If it has, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share, and also do not forget to turn on your notification button so that each time I post you get a notification and you'll be the first to know. I love you guys so much, and I'm going to see you all in my next video. My name remains Lizzie. Bye.